Welcome to the SalesLeverage AI demo page. SalesLeverage was designed based on a model called quantitative value mapping. This refers to the process of identifying the unique value metrics of the target persona that you're engaging with and mapping those metrics directly to the key outcomes of that persona in a very precise, objective, and repeatable manner. Be mindful of the word outcomes because every business owner, leader, manager, executive, their decisions are based on outcomes. Outcomes that are driven by value. And I'm going to get deeper into that, but I want to make sure that I call that out specifically. Remember the term outcomes and value because they're going to be a key theme across this demo set. Okay. The reason that people make decisions to buy or not to buy your product or service, it's not based on price or functionality. It's actually based on the presence or the absence of measurable value. Value is the only reason that people choose to take action. Value is the universal currency of all businesses, regardless of industry or region. Now, quantify value, it creates clarity, certainty, priority, and excitement for the decision maker. If your decision maker cannot quantify if and how your solution will deliver value, guess what? They will not buy from you. The real key to success in the modern era of sales is not just about enabling sellers, but it's also about enabling your buyer. This is what true sales consulting is all about. It's about showing your buyer relevant insights that they cannot see on their own. SalesLeverage AI turns average sellers into elite sales consultants. Sales consultants that can 3x, 5x, and even 10x revenue and profitability. This video walkthrough covers all the modules within the platform at a high level. We'll have other videos that dive deeper into each module to give more guidance and clarity so that you can become an expert at it pretty quickly. But from the manager dashboard, you'll be able to see like pre-call planning, persona value mapping, standard discovery intake questionnaire, quantitative workflow mapping, comparative analysis, and deal risk analysis. SalesLeverage is basically everything that CRM is not. It is actually a tool built to gather customer insights that actually move the sales needle, not merely create additional administrative burden for revenue teams. SalesLeverage actually it feeds the CRM with the most up-to-date and relevant customer insights, not just pure vanity metrics. These metrics from SalesLeverage are what helps sales managers forecast more accurately and exceed quota more consistently. So let's take a quick look, okay? The thing you're looking at right now is the manager dashboard. This can be for a sales manager, or it can be for an individual seller that decides to subscribe to the solution on their own, not go through their company, that's fine. You're still considered a manager because you want to have this dashboard view of your activity month over month, year over year. So if we look at 2025, I put account in here. So one account, you'll see that in a sec. You can look at team activity, anybody that's on your team that's, entering new accounts here. The total opportunity cost, this shows an aggregate of what you're saving, potentially saving companies in expense, from an operational expense standpoint. So we'll get deeper into that in a minute. But we're talking about the workflow cost without any change. That's what this company was spending today. And again, these are just sample. This is just sample data, just for the purpose of a demo. But this is going to be super impactful for any client that you work with in the B2B space. Okay, the net positive revenue impact. This is what you would actually give them back, right, in their pockets, and they can reallocate that for whatever in the business, right? It's all about reducing unnecessary expense, increasing profit margins. That's what every company cares about. So that's what this tool is designed to demonstrate and map to. Okay, it shows you the number of DNAs completed. DNA is just discovery needs analysis. That's all it is. Pretty common term in sales. Most of you guys know that already. It just shows how many have been completed month over month. Okay. So now if you go into the company area, This will show you, and I'll get deeper, like I said, into each module as we go forward. But if I go into this company here, Curtiss-Wright Corporation, you'll capture your typical information in any type of pre-call research. You want to know the company name, the URL, where they're based, what industry, so on and so forth. This number right here, quality and compliance personnel, is because that's the team I'm focused on. I don't care about the entire company size because I'm not selling to the whole company. I'm selling to this domain. I'm selling to quality and compliance. That's the team I'm selling to. So that's who I'm focused on. This company probably has 20, 30,000 total employees. But again, that's not my target audience. Here are my target contacts. You can enter those here. You can either enter their name, or you will enter their name, their title. You can put their LinkedIn profile or email. I like the LinkedIn profile because I'm a big advocate of social prospect, and I think it's super, super effective in this day and time. But these are the folks I'm going after. I'm going after the COO, CFO, Director of Manufacturing Operations, Senior Quality Manager. That's my target. Okay. This gives you kind of some analytics. Like, this is the stuff we will pull in through pre-call planning, but that's where the numbers came from, this pre-call planning module. It shows like, what are the top revenue streams for that company, right? They're a $3 billion company, but where do those revenues come from? You will be surprised how many sellers have no clue how their prospects even make money. To me, that's kind of lazy, because if I'm selling you something or I'm trying to offer you a product or service, I need to know how you make money, because that's important, right? You making money, that's the bottom line. It's like, how do we drive revenue? How do we increase profit margin? How do we reduce risk? Those are the big three across any organization, right? You've got your total opportunity cost. Again, we'll get to that later, how we got to that number, and then some of the trends around revenue. This is just nice to have information. I can use this in a business case. You know what I mean? Like, hey, I saw from year 1 to year 2, there was an 8% increase in revenue. Great. Well, what if the goal was 20%, right? What if we can show them an even higher uptick in revenue? What if we can increase this 11% to 15%? Again, if you don't know the starting point, it's kind of hard to say we can increase this and show you this delta of positive impact. Okay. We'll get into the team member stuff later. If you want to add a team member, you can do that as well. There's different user permissions across the platform. So whether a person is just a viewer, a full user where they can actually update the record, or an administrator, right? You can actually assign roles yourself. So, but that's for another conversation. All right, the pre-call planning. So there are 4 main areas of pre-call planning. You want to understand what's the focus of that company. What are the threats and opportunities from a competitive standpoint, industry? Like, educate yourself around the company. Who are their top competitors? What are their growth and customer acquisition trends? And what are the top revenue streams? So that earlier visual is where this came from. So I had to put that info in here, and we'll go deeper into that on the next video. But these are the things that you want to capture in pre-call planning. These are things that I think are really staples in understanding your customer's world. Standard discovery questions. Remember, key customer outcomes are super, super important, right? These are the things that really matter, right? Everything is driven by outcomes. If you can help your customer achieve their outcomes, the chances of them buying from you or working with you or partnering with you are much higher, right? Outcomes are exciting, right? Everybody wants to achieve success. Everybody has goals they want to achieve. So that's the outcome, right? You want to help them achieve that. And then we'll get into like workflow maps. This is like a hidden gem. I'm telling you, if you guys start to understand workflows in your companies and your customers' processes, that's where you can really start to collaborate and consult and advise them on a better path. But you got to understand the business as it stands today, right? And that's what workflow maps helps you do. It helps you really unpack their internal process and really turn it around and show it to them. Like, hey, this is where you could be losing money. This is what the inefficiency is costing you, right? Those are things that customers just, sometimes they don't look at their business through that detailed lens. And you've got the workflow comparison, so you can show, hey, this is where you are today. This is what you're spending versus what we're proposing you'll spend with our solution, right? And I'll show you how to get to these numbers as well. Your company probably already has some of this benchmark data and customer stories and case studies. You can just plug that stuff in here, but then use that to show your customer, like, man, there's massive, massive savings, right? We can take you from a 1.2 million current cost to 726, right? That's a huge, huge delta. That's a 42% savings, right? And again, but we're going to go into that later, some of the detail, but this is some of the output you'll get. And then you've got risk analysis. This is more for a sales manager, or really if you're the type of seller that wants to de-risk your accounts, this is where you would go, right? And this is based on, like, did you capture information across these different areas? Did you capture the quantitative risk? Do you understand stakeholder value perception risk? Are there, there's revenue risk there? Did you discount? Like, that's what that's talking about when you get into revenue risk. And then competitors. Do you know who the competitors are? You better, because they're always going to be out there. And so the less information that you're gathering across these areas, the more this score is going to increase. And it basically tells you a risk score of 0 to 4 indicates that out of the core deal conversion pillars, you're missing one or few elements that will give you the leverage to influence your buyer's decision behavior. The higher up you go, if you start getting to 8 and 10 and 12, like, you got some holes in your deal, right? And I don't care if you're using Medic, MedPick, BANT, whatever model you're using. If this risk score is high, you've got some holes, right? This platform is designed to help you accelerate and improve your results using Medic or MedPick or BANT. So I'm not saying those things are bad. I'm not saying this is, in opposition to it. I'm saying this enhances that model greatly. It gives you another layer of risk reduction. Okay. So that's it for this video. We will go deeper as I go into each individual module. Okay. So stay tuned.